everybody. Well, summer is here with a vengeance, and it was 118, they said the other day in Cathedral City. And here's a convertible for the summer, although out here in the Coachella Valley, sometimes convertibles can't be used in the summer because it's too hot. That's the irony of living in the desert. But this is a car perfect for the desert, the Saturn Sky. Yes, this is the new Saturn you've been hearing about. Now, it's the same car under the sheet metal as another car called the Pontiac Solstice, which some of you may remember from that Donald Trump show, The Apprentice, last year, when one of the jobs that the apprentices were given to do was create the launch for the Solstice, for the Pontiac. Well, this is the Sky, the Saturn version of this. And in fact, we saw this car at the LA Auto Show 2 years ago as a concept, and we think it's much better looking than the Solstice. The Solstice has that big black, looks like an electric shaver up front. I don't know if I'm supposed to drive it or shave with it, but this is the Sky from Saturn. Under the hood, 177 horsepower, 2.4 liter, 4-cylinder engine. Now, coming later in the year for both the Sky and the Pontiac Solstice, 260 horsepower, 2-liter turbocharged car. 260 horsepower is just about right for this car because the car is a heavyweight, much like myself, much like many of you out there. Don't kid yourselves. 3,000 pounds for this car, quite close to 3,000 pounds. That's a lot for this car, considering the Mazda MX-5 Miata is 2,400 pounds. Anti-lock brakes are standard. Rear-wheel drive, as God intended. Drive wheels are back here. The engine is up here. That's the way a sports car is supposed to be. That's the way the Saturn Sky is. Good-looking car. We were road testing it before it went on sale. Most people in the valley had never seen it before, and we got a lot of thumbs up. I'll tell you, we got a lot of these, a lot of nods, a lot of people wanted to talk to us about the car. What's nice about the car, four-wheel independent suspension, yet you do get a lot of bump steer on this car. You go over a bump, and the rear end of the car starts tracking all over the place. You get used to it, but it's a little disconcerting, and you don't get it in most other real sports cars. This is much more of a sporty car than a sports car. Like I said, kind of like the Mazda Miata, except the Miata's been around since 1990. General Motors had a car back then called the Fiero. Then they killed it because they said nobody wanted to buy a two-seat sports car. Well, here we are in 2007 model year. GM suddenly figures out, why don't we build a two-seat sports car? Well, it's a little late. Better late than never, I guess. This car should have been out at least 5 years ago. Saturn dealers are dying for product. This is going to walk right out of the showroom, I'll tell you. About $26,000 fully loaded. Very hard to beat. And again, priced right near where the Solstice is going to be and right where the Miata is as well. Interior, you can get leather in the interior, which is nice. We have it in this test car. It's kind of a good-looking interior. I enjoy it. No gauges, though. It's a sports car. It's got a tach. It's got a speedometer, and it's got a fuel gauge. That's it. But it does get 24 miles per gallon, city and highway combined. The turbocharged car coming out from Pontiac and Saturn later this year. The Saturn will be called the Red Line. The Pontiac will be called the GXP. 260 horsepower. I'm going to show you the problem with this car. The problem with the Saturn Sky. The convertible top. Come over here, Carrie. Take a look at these hinges right here. You can see it better over if you walk around to the back here. You can see it right here. There's a kind of a locking hinge. Well, not a hinge. It's a pin, actually, that goes into the top of the trunk. And we got one over on this side also. Now, that means anytime you want to use the trunk, and as you're going to see in a second, the trunk opens this way like a clamshell, the other way. Anytime you want to get to the trunk, you have to pop open the convertible top, the back of the top, to get to the trunk. What are they thinking? Would you find that on a Honda? Would you find that on a Toyota? No. I can see Carrie saying no. What are they thinking at GM? Did they run out of engineering money when they got to this? It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Okay. Here's how the top goes down. It's got to be in reverse. Brakes on. What do we do here? We release that. We open the glove box. Push the button to open the trunk. By the way, no storage inside the car at all except for a cell phone and a couple of bottles of water. We've already released the inside latch. Okay, so you do that. Then you got to get out of the car. So these pins, when I push the button, the trunk opens and these pins come out. Now here's the trunk. There's the trunk without the convertible top in it. I don't think there's even room enough for a set of golf clubs. We lift the top up, push it in, close it again, No, that's closed, actually. You got to get out of the car to do it. The Miata, you sit in the car, one hand, one person, up or down, and it doesn't take up all that trunk space. What were they thinking? What I'm waiting for is the red line. Comes out towards the end of this year. Going to be 260 horsepower from a 2-liter turbocharged engine. The Pontiac Solstice, if you like the looks of that car better than this, and that's the one you're going to buy, wait for the GXP. It'll have that same 2-liter Ecotec engine with 260 horsepower. In the meantime, this is a good start. The two-seat sports car with a manual top was not invented by General Motors this year. Saturn Sky is too little too late. It's well built, generally runs and handles well, but there are too many things gone wrong with Sky when compared to similar cars. Apart from Sky's styling, there's really no reason to buy it instead of Mazda's MX-5. We're looking forward to the more powerful Sky. On our scale of 1 to 5, 4 tires and a spare, the 2006 Saturn Sky rates a just average 3.